this is the intake manifold we will be installing today. Nice little sticker on the bottom of it. So now my intake manifold has a B series throttle body on it. This intake manifold is the Maxpeedingrods K series intake manifold. It is the, I guess you can say, the Skunk 2 style, RBC style intake manifold. So now my intake manifold is a little different. It's because the throttle body is bolted directly up to the manifold, to the flange, as opposed to having it with an adapter. I'll get to that at some point in time. Not in this video, maybe another video later on. But this is the manifold. There's a little bit of a walk around. Had it for a little bit of a while, sitting in my toolbox, waiting to be put on. So I'm just gonna do a quick mock-up today, and we'll be doing somewhat of a how-to video on this. So now to the engine. This is a K24A2 in the US market. I'm just going to be mocking it up on here today. I'm not going to be doing a full install on it because obviously the engine needs to be cleaned dramatically. So now before I start anything else, the first things that we got to do is we got to assess what we're going to have to be taking off first. So first thing we're going to be taking off some vacuum lines and or coolant lines on it. So the vacuum line, this line is the one that goes straight to the brake booster. Obviously, since I'm taking off the whole manifold, I'm probably not going to even use that vacuum line anymore, so I'll probably just unbolt it from the head, which is a 10 mil. Two of them right here. These are for the vacuums, the brake booster, and the fuel line. On the bottom of it, since I'm not taking off the water pump housing, you can see right next to the right on the water pump housing, thermostat housing, coolant lines, right? So you got one that stretches out all the way out here, that goes crazy. It holds all the way to the heater core, which that'll have to be swapped out for a K21 too. I'll look for that later on. If the Z3 one works, I'll use the Z3 one, but that'll, like I said, that'll be later on. That'll be probably taken off altogether. But there is a coolant housing. See, right behind that piping, it goes up into the intake manifold on the plenum of it. So upper plenum, lower plenum. So what you would end up essentially doing is probably just taking off the upper plenum off first, and then assessing what you need to take off behind it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is, you see this vacuum line that leads to the water pump housing. So pop it off the top. This is never going to be used again for this. Probably will be. Best way to take it off, usually you would end up getting a pick tool. Take it off. The pick tool, you'd end up going all the way around it. But yeah, that kind of broke it loose. Okay. So. So sometimes you gotta twist it off and add it back and forth until it breaks loose, and there we go. You know it's gonna be trashed. Okay, so that's all. That's the first thing that needs to come. Like I said, since I'm not using any of this anymore. Oh, the second one that needs to come off, because I'm not taking off the throttle block, is the one. This is a coolant line. This is not a vacuum. Okay, this one broke loose easily. So essentially, you can just take your pliers and just pull it off. Boom. That was completely off. Same thing with this one on the bottom. Again, if you want, you can twist it. This one came off easier because they are coolant lines instead of vacuum lines. So anything else. So the next thing you're gonna doing is taking the upper plenum off. Just for shits and giggles, to some people they're pulling it off in their car, so you'd end up taking this like easy vacuum line. This is for the brake booster. Boom. This, since it's not in the car, it's on the car. It's completely disconnected, no vacuum lines, nothing on it. Let's go ahead and take off the upper plenum. So like I said, You can use a wrench if you want. Some maybe use, some maybe not. Oh my god. So there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. Same thing with the exhaust side if you're gonna take off the manifold, but that's besides the fact. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off real quick and I'll come back. So for the RBB intake manifold, since there's an upper and lower plenum on it, right? So for the upper, you have 3 bolts and 2 nuts. 3 bolts going in, 2 studs coming out. Since everything is completely disconnected already, all you have to do is shake it a little bit and it should come right off. So that is the upper plenum of this intake manifold. This is the inside of the lower plenum, so you see it right here. This is the one that needs to come out. Right? So the lower plenum had more bolts than the upper plenum does, obviously, because this is bolted to the intake side of the head. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that one right there. 2, 3, 4 on the head side of the intake manifold. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this coolant line. All right, so that took definitely a lot of twisting and tugging on it. I try not to break this coolant line because it looks really good. So I do plan on reusing it again. Yeah, it goes right there. Take the clamp off of it, slide it back as far as you can, and then take a pick. Try to lift it up on the inside of the hose, and then twist it back and forth, and then pull back as you're twisting. So, again, take off the nuts. Fuel rail. Move them over to the trash can. Show and tell time. Okay, so this is an easy slide clip type situation. So when you're putting it back on, you would just slide it back on and make sure the holes line up like said so. When you're taking it off, you press these 2 sides of the clip, and then it'll push those teeth down, and then you just be able to pop it out. Now, this vacuum has to come up, so I gotta get the next trusty tool, pliers. Oh, broke. Fine. Okay. This vacuum line out of the freaking way because this is gonna be useless. I'm not gonna be using that vacuum line or any of this, I guess, starting assist, whatever it may be. So I'm gonna wiggly. Don't. There we go. That's how you cut yourself again. Use 2 hands with this stuff. Boom. Injectors are out. But yeah, take your fuel rail out. If you plan on replacing the fuel rail, you plan on replacing all this stuff anyway. And now you can get to the bolts that I was talking about. Bolts and nuts that I was talking about. So, back side of this intake manifold, and then compare it to the back side of this intake. Alright, so, big side note. Use a wrench to get the 2 first top bolts and nuts out because it's 10 times easier than trying to get a socket in there, and then the rest you can take the socket and knock it out with an extension, obviously. Okay, so if you get into a dilemma like me where I got like a limited amount of tools right now, it's anything like that, and I get to this point where you are going to have to use a bigger wrench on your ratchet, keep it straight, and then just pry down on it and it'll break it loose every single time. That's how I've always done it back in the day when I even had less tools than what I have right now. And I'm just being too lazy to go buy new ones. So, there we go. I'll let you taking out, well, almost all the bolts. Guess I forgot one over here, huh? Okay, now you're taking out all the bolts. Make sure you don't mix up the ones from the top to the bottom because the top part of the plenum is longer than the bottom. Anyway, now you're taking off all the bolts, top, bottom, nuts. wiggle it off. And you take off the intake manifold, and wow. You can already tell that this K24A has got some really clean intake ports. Huh. They damn near match the gasket. Wow, the gasket is actually, this thing doesn't even need to get gasket matched. That's crazy. So at this point, we would end up changing out the gasket. So at this point, we're going to be doing the macro stage. We would end up just taking your intake manifold, in which this one, since this one is the RBC and RBB style intake manifold, meaning that the RBC intake manifold, the RBC head and the RBB head have the same type of casting. Almost the same as that casting, should I say. I'm gonna take an intake manifold like so. Make sure you don't scratch anything, and go up. At this point in time, it's just in the lockup stage, so once it's completely bolted up, you'll see that it fits amazing. Yeah, this intake manifold looks very nice on this engine. The intake ports, tape them off real quick, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, then you would end up putting the corresponding coolant lines, like I said, on the bottom. This one would go back on to here, and it fits. Snuggly duggly, boom. Goes back onto there. I would probably use a better hose clamp than the factory one, because obviously it has a little bit looser tolerance on this one as opposed to the RBB one. And that's pretty nice. It's pretty good. So, boom here for the brake booster, and this one would be, I think, the start assist right then and there, and then pop out. You are all set to go, ready to rock and roll. Obviously, you put your fuel rail back in. If you're using a stock fuel rail, you bolt it back in like so with the washers, corresponding things. That's how it would go on. So it'll kind of look. So there you go. That's the easier way to doing it on the RBC, RBB head. Obviously, since my engine is out of the car, you might have to take off a little bit more sensors. It might have less room to work with, but it's not too hard. It takes just time and a little bit of effort, elbow grease. Try not to cut yourself like I did, and you'll be all right. She looks great. Alright, so this is what it looks like when it's bolted down. It's not completely tightened down, but yeah. Fuel rail on, injectors in, intake manifold bolted down. Obviously that coolant port isn't on. Here. And I could probably just push the, the ratchet hose under. Like down and under it. Now the major thing that you're probably gonna have a little bit of a hard time with is that bolt right there that's behind this coolant passage right here. You're gonna have to use a wrench to tighten that down. Well, not like it needs to be completely freaking torqued down to like 100 billion and 1,000 pounds, but you're definitely gonna have to use a wrench to tighten it down. It's on great. Now with this manifold, the coolant passage on this side is completely blocked off. So when you put the gasket on, whether you use the freaking skunk tool into the manifold gasket or the Honda one or just a regular factory gasket, that gets blocked off, so you don't have to really worry about that if you're running a K24 or a Z3 head. If it's an A2, you're gonna have to lock off. Yeah, there she goes. And that's all she wrote for that one.